Well, I see myself as eventually growing out of Graf and getting married and living the lifestyle, you know, and making good money like that. And when life is in its best, you don't really want to run around in the trains. I'm sure I'll come back every now and then.
See where it says Getty? So you got the whole view right there. CC, starboard bound. That was the spot they filmed right there.
Nice and
This is it.
Right where it says Getty. It used to say Texaco.
This is it. This is it. This is it. Here we go. Here we go. This is it. This is it.
And this is where we used to do our top to bottoms. Right here on this bridge. Well, Vinny used to write Vinny. There was my first name is Mike, and there's a ton of Mikes out there. I started by writing Ike first. I dropped the M, and there was no Ikes out, so I always like to be original. Is the Wiz, it could be broken down to Is, and then when I do Burners, it could be Is the Wiz. It takes up more room.
When was the last time you did a piece?
I'd say about 6 months ago.
Oh, that's not long.
For me, it's an eternity. I was doing what I was doing for fun. I was doing it for people that were close to me, and, you know, we did that thing together. What it turned out to be was just, I guess, an added plus. It was an art form developed by kids to have fun, and that was our way of doing what it was we were doing, to escape. A king, to quote a famous book, is someone they either want to write with or fight with. On a 10-car train, if somebody constantly has 5 to 7 pieces on that train, you want to have 8 to 10 or 15 pieces on that train. But the object of being a king is to have more than anybody else. To quote somebody else in a famous movie, not the biggest, not the most beautifulest, but more. You gotta have all that. You can't just have, where's the 6th line? Just for an example. You can't just have that.
And call yourself a king.
And call yourself a king.
Come on, Duro.
Ooh.
Come on, man.
Can't just have that.
Let them know.
You got to have all this locked down.
Let them know.
Insides, outsides, in between cars, conductors, booths, tunnels, stations. All right? And there's only a handful with room left over that did that.
What do trains mean to you?
The way of getting to point A to point B.
Okay, the outside of trains. What is the outside?
A way of getting your name from point A to point B. I mean, there's layups and yards all over the place. One of my favorite places was between 111 and 104. That was the A layups. And then further down, we got Grant. And then on the J's, you had 111th Street. And once in a while, you had something here in Crescent, between Crescent and Cypress, but not too often. Then you had the J Yard down here by East New York, Eastern Parkway. My house. Duro's house. My house was Pitkin. Then you had Quick's house, Van Wyck and Sufton.
Yeah.
And Parsons and 179th Street layup, 75th Street, Union Turnpike.
Yeah.
I never brought enough paint for Union Turnpike. Never. On the 7s, you had the Flushing Yard, that's Fuzz territory. You had the 111th Street layup. And then you had 42nd Street, Times Square. You could get the pull and pull out over there. I like Morris Park a lot, right in here somewhere.
Right there. Morris Park,
There we go,
Esplanade.
yeah. Oh, I like that spot.
Esplanade was cool, too.
Mm-hmm. That's where I did the John Lennon.
Yeah. What
Single
about the
lane.
Ghost Yard?
Oh, Ghost Yard. If you got rated real serious out of there, you just had to jump in the Harlem River or East River?
Woo.
Which was it?
Harlem River.
That's right. And if you come up with, a few things crawling on you, no big deal, you just brush them off. But, these are some of the sacrifices you had to make, like the 3-yard too. I mean, 3-yard was sweet, but if you got rated in there, you had to jump where you had to jump, unless you wanted to get busted. Look at what you learn. You learn how to put colors together. You learn how to coordinate a piece itself. Then you learn photography. Then you learn how to lay them out in your portfolio and whatnot. Then you got to develop an art resume. Now you're doing canvases, so now you got to stretch canvas and compile art in a much smaller environment. And now you got to learn to sell it. Now you got to learn how to display it. So it just keeps growing and growing, and it makes you a better person as far as knowledge. In one of my pieces I wrote in 1982, The Beginning of the End. The art form was getting too much publicity too fast, and kids were learning the trade without having to pay any dues, and that's a perfect formula for destruction. Finished.
Yeah. My best friend, EL3.
In '95, I had taken really ill. I feel I was as close to death as I'll ever come. And they fed me intravenously for about 4 months. And the kidneys went, probably due to all the paint fumes over the years, all the steel dust, cement dust. Anything you inhale, anything you breathe, any toxin that goes into your body is going to be filtered through your kidneys. And that was a lot of years of toxicity.
Yet it was still worth it.
I would trade it all back for perfect health. Every drop of fame, every drop of glory, every magazine I was ever in, every movie I was ever in, I would give it all back in a heartbeat to have my health.
Who said this is it?
I did.
So,
And here's our train.
This is it. This is it.
This is it. A train northbound.
Here you go.